It has been nearly a year and a half since Cleveland bought 9 drones, yet they're still grounded as police work on a program.
Today we discuss the application of drone technology in public safety, an issue highlighted by initiatives like the one in Mansfield, Ohio. While the Mansfield Police Department may present their drone program as a pragmatic advancement, a mere tool in the public safety toolkit, we must approach this with rigorous scrutiny, focusing on the profound privacy concerns it raises and the urgent need for critical oversight and transparency.
News 5 investigator Tara Morgan's taken us to other communities with police drone programs they've had now for years. Now another's launching the next generation of that technology.
Tonight she is following through, showing us how Mansfield is ahead of the game.
The Mansfield drone program, with its 11 seasoned pilots and a history dating back to 2017, is indeed sophisticated. We are told this drone, capable of flying 335 feet high and covering over 3 square miles, offers eyes above to provide real-time 360-degree views of incidents like auto accidents, structure fires, and missing persons cases. The stated benefit is clear, enabling real-time assessments, avoiding unnecessary ground crew deployment, and potentially pulling personnel back from hazards. It's lauded as a model, attracting attention from other cities. However, we must see beyond the immediate, seemingly beneficial applications.
We're going to go ahead and open the
Perched on a rooftop,
open the cabinet.
overlooking downtown Mansfield.
I already have the pin set for directly behind here.
New technology on a year-long test run.
I'm going to go ahead and start.
Mansfield's first responder drone. It can fly 335 feet high over 3 square miles from the public safety building, almost completely autonomous.
It may go out on anything right now, but we do have a certain criteria that it goes out on. It goes out on auto accidents. It goes out on structure fires, PD side, oil fire side as well, missing persons.
Here's how it works.
So there is a car stop at the front of the building.
The drone is part of the workflow for 911 dispatchers. As soon as a call comes in, they punch in the address and drop a pin for the drone for a real-time 360 view.
This is not simply about efficient policing. It's about the incremental erosion of fundamental rights in the name of an ever-expanding concept of security. The argument that if you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to fear is a dangerous platitude, often echoed by authorities to justify vast data collection. Yet, as Justice Louis Brandeis articulated, the right to be left alone is the most comprehensive of rights, and the right most valued by free people. The presence of a ubiquitous surveillance, even without direct intent to punish, severely constrains individual choice and stifles creativity and dissent. As studies have shown, the very threat or actuality of surveillance can and psychologically inhibit freedom of speech and lead to self-censorship, causing anxiety and inhibition among those monitored. This chilling effect is not abstract. It is a very real consequence for activists, racialized communities, and everyday citizens alike. When our public spaces are constantly under aerial gaze, our ability to maintain autonomy in public is rapidly reduced. And technologies like automated facial recognition only accelerate this threat. Furthermore, the transparency touted by Mansfield program is a rare exception in a broader landscape of entrenched governmental secrecy. As we've seen in other cities like Cleveland, police drone programs remain grounded and officers untrained even after equipment purchases, highlighting the complexities that are often shielded from public view. Historically, Programs like Total Information Awareness were introduced with grand visions of connecting the dots for counterterrorism, but quickly drew public outcry as an Orwellian scenario due to their invasive nature and lack of public debate. Even when TIA was ostensibly shut down, its core research capabilities were simply moved behind the intelligence community's secret budget, continuing to operate without public understanding or legislative oversight. This pattern of hidden operations is fundamental to maintaining state and corporate power, not merely an unfortunate excess. The increasing reliance on private corporations for surveillance technology and data is another critical concern. Companies collect vast amounts of consumer data and government agencies acquire this data, often without warrants or public disclosure, for purposes like location tracking or identifying individuals from social media. This commercial marketplace of data operates with a scant public debate and little oversight. The very same tools developed by social media surveillance companies for public safety programs can easily be repurposed by authoritarian regimes to map activist networks and curtail political dissent. We see a disturbing trend where private entities sell or even give data to the government, sometimes designated as confidential human sources, creating arrangements that are completely opaque. We cannot fall victim to surveillance realism, a resignation to pervasive surveillance as an inevitable trade-off for security. This individualizes the problem and fails to address why surveillance has become so important to social control.
The drone is not worried about stop signs or, getting to a call. It's 33 miles an hour, getting immediately to there to be able to assess that situation.
The drone, fire, or police are dispatched simultaneously.
We're not going to delay a response for the drone to go see what we have going on.
But the eyes above give Mansfield the option to pull back ground crews to avoid accidents or save them for something bigger.
There's been examples of that drone getting there and maybe it's the fence that's on fire or a shed and not the house. So we don't have 5 trucks racing across town.
Cleveland is also exploring this technology. They're now evaluating proposals from 8 vendors. But for now, no Cleveland drones in the sky, not even for police. In April, I spoke with Chief Annie Todd.
Does it feel as if you guys are behind the times?
I know a lot of the suburban agencies currently use drones, and the bigger cities throughout Ohio use drones as well.
Cleveland bought 9 police drones in February of 24. At the time, they didn't know they were ordered until we found an invoice for $255,000. 18 months later, Cleveland has yet to launch its drones or train officers.
We're hoping that we have the drones up and running this summer, is what we're planning for right now.
Drones aren't new to Mansfield Public Safety. They've had them since 2017. The city has 11 drone pilots.
So you have a lot of experience in this.
Yes.
Safety Service Director Keith Porch says their pilot program of this next generation of drones is attracting attention from other cities.
The drone's not going to be able to come out of the sky to apprehend anybody, or a drone is not going to extinguish a fire. Those are always going to be left to personnel.
Another tool, Porch says, tucked away until the next emergency.
That's it.
In Mansfield, I'm News 5 investigator Tara Morgan.
Our response must go beyond mere calls for accountability when another covert operation comes to light. These operations are fundamental to maintaining existing power structures. We need a political understanding that recognizes the root of the problem, the growth of arbitrary power, especially in the context of global capitalism. Instead of passively accepting technologies that promise safety at the cost of liberty, we must demand robust, independent oversight for all surveillance technologies and programs with genuine checks and balances, not just semi-secret oversight. Full transparency regarding the data collected, its sources, its storage, and its uses, ensuring it is accessible to the public and not just hidden behind layers of bureaucracy, secrecy, or commercial confidentiality. Meaningful public debate that shapes the broad social choices about how much data and power we want our government to amass, rather than leaving it to a myopic conversation among insiders. Legislative action that enables clear boundaries for government access to private data, ensuring that privacy is protected as a fundamental human right, not merely an optional feature. The lessons from history, from the revelations of Edward Snowden to the decades of FBI surveillance and dissent, teach us that an informed public is our greatest defense against overreach. We have a choice in what kind of society we want to build. Let us choose one where freedom and privacy are paramount, not sacrificed to the omnipresent gaze of the surveillance state.